Okay, our new topic today, we are going to discuss about functions, right? So we are going to discuss about functions, and that is how you can group the code, the first way of grouping the code. There is another way of grouping the code. We will learn that in advanced concepts like object-oriented programming when we are learning about Java. We are about to start that. Actually, before that, we need to finish Python lessons. Actually, Python has some more components. Up to now, we have discussed about the basic operators, sequence selection, repetition, basic control structures, and also we learn about the data types, basic data types, and intermediate or advanced data types like list tuples, dictionaries, and sets. And now we need to discuss about functions. And after functions, we need to discuss about returning function, non-returning function, and recursive functions. And after that, so we can discuss about the file handling. After file handling, we have the database concepts. Actually, that is the flow. Okay, today we will be discussing about functions. Function is something like the related codings. We can group related codings into under a single name. So then that is called a function. So I can show you a great example which is available in MS Word. If you are using Microsoft Word, you can try this command in Microsoft Word. If you type equal RAND in Microsoft Word and open bracket, close bracket, then press enter, it will generate a random paragraph. So you can try this. So what you need to do, you have to type equal sign, then RAND. After that, open in bracket, close in bracket, and press enter. That will generate a random paragraph like this. Actually, rand is a function. So if you have learned about Excel, in Excel, we have functions like sum, min, average, max. If these are functions available in Excel, actually we can do certain tasks using that function. Rand is also a similar function. Have you used Excel, Microsoft Excel?
At school, but I don't have a license at home.
All right, that's cool. So like, do you know the functions? Sum, which will add the numbers, min, which will find the minimum, max, which will find the maximum, average, which will find the average. Do you have idea about those functions? Just some.
No, we never use those.
Okay, so then here you can try with RAND, that will generate random. And if you try to input RAND3, it will generate 3 random paragraphs. Here the first paragraph, here the second paragraph, here the third. 3 random paragraphs. That is how equal RAND, then 3 there. 3 random paragraphs, equal rand 3. That will generate 3 random paragraphs. And so if you try to, let's say, edit that number, rand 4. So what should happen? Rand 4 should generate
4 paragraphs.
4 random paragraphs. Yeah, here you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 random paragraphs. So this value that we are giving inside is called a parameter. Okay, that you can change, right? Rand 10 will generate 10 random paragraphs. Rand 20 will generate 20 random paragraphs. Rand 100 will generate 100 random paragraphs. So anyway, whatever the digit or the number that you are given inside the brackets, we use that as an input that is basically called a parameter. I will give these terms, right? What is parameter? So I'll give these terms. Then, so there is another way of putting that. You can give here 1, 2, rand 1, 2. So that will generate 1 paragraph with 2 lines. 1 paragraph with 2 lines. Then if you give like 1, 4, 1 paragraph with 4 lines. So let's say if you have given 3, 4, then what will happen?
3 paragraphs, and each of the paragraph has 4 lines.
Yeah, 3 paragraphs, and each of the paragraph will get 4 lines. 1, 2, 3 paragraph. If you count, 1 sentence, 2 sentence, 3 sentences, 4 sentences. Here 1 sentence, 2 sentences, 3 and 4 sentences. Here also 1, 2, 3 and 4 sentences. So you will get 3 paragraphs each with 4 sentences. So what about 3, 10? Oh, sorry, 5, 10? 5 paragraphs each with, yes, 5, 10, 5 paragraphs each with
10 lines.
10 lines or 10 sentences, basically. Not lines exactly, it's like sentences, right? Sorry, my mistake. 5 paragraphs each with 10 sentences, right? That will generate. So here you can see 5 paragraphs. If you count number of sentences, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 5 paragraphs each with 10 sentences. These are called parameters that you can control. The advantage of the function is time to time you can change the parameters and get different results. The same coding, but by giving the parameters, we can obtain different results. That is the advantage of using a function. Okay, now let's move to the function lesson. Now we have experience, we have seen a function, we know how a function works, and this is the time to create a function. Okay, I have given the note here, a set of related activities or the processor which are related, which are defined, which are used to define or targeting a defined outcome. Actually, so it will be under a single identifier, single name. Right? Simply, you can say a set of related tasks together defined with an identifier. Right? For an example, in real life, you can say wedding is a function. Wedding has a set of activities: arrival of brides and groom parties and registration, maybe memorial photographs, traditional cultural events, servings or refreshments, ceremonial events, if any, and thanking and departure. So likewise, like there are a set of activities. These activities grouped together, we call it single name wedding. Wedding is a, this is in real life. Okay, I'll give this part, I'll give this note to you. Right here, actually, so when you tell, okay, there's a wedding, that means all these functions, or some of these will be, they are inside that function. In coding, we can call a set of related codes grouped together, right, is called a function. And so you can write down this part. Actually, this is a general thing. Just write down the heading functions. Functions. And then just write down this. The highlighted area, please. So these are the terms that I said about a function. A function is defined with the def keyword in Python. So it is defined with the def keyword, and then the function name is mentioned after that. And after that, if there are any parameters, then the parameters should be given. And inside that, with indentation, this gap is must. We have learned about that. This gap indicate this is belongs to this gap here to here indicate this belongs to the particular function, right? This gap should be maintained. So whatever the code inside this is belong to the particular function. But if you write somewhere here, it's not belongs to the function. So this gap is really essential. This gap indicate that these processes are belongs to this function. Okay, then def is the keyword, then the function name, the parameters. Parameters can be like, there can be 0 parameters, 1 parameter, 2 parameter, 3 parameter. Depends. It depends, right? It depends the number of parameters you can give. But here you can see there are 2 parameters, and then here the content of the or the processes in this function. Actually, this is how we are using this. We are using a function. Here I have defined a function add nums. Add nums is getting 2 parameters n1 and n2. When this is given, it is basically adding n1 to n2 and displaying it as n1 plus n2 equal to the answer. So when you call the function with different values, it will produce the answers. Okay, this part actually you need to write down, right? This part here to here. Please write down. The other things we will do as practical. First of all, please write down because this is very important and you need to remember that. Please write down here to here. After that, let's do the practical and try to understand what is a function and how to apply the function. Then, right, this is actually calling functions with parameters. Let's try it now. Practically, I'm using IDLE here. So let's define this function as you can see here, and then try to obtain the output and let us check whether it's giving the proper output. Okay, first of all, I would like to take a new file and define my function with the def keyword. Let's say def add numbers. Add nums is my function name, add nums. So I'm going to enter two numbers, n1 and 2. These are my parameters. After that, I have to print the total. So let's print n1 first. And after that, let's print a plus mark. After that, let's print n2. After that, let's print equal sign with spaces. After that, let's print the addition character in the n1. I'm going to add that with n2. So that is it. So this is how it looks like. And when I save this as, let's say, fn, so let's run it. See what I'm getting. I'm getting nothing. Actually, because I have not called any function. I just run the function, but I didn't call it. To call, how can we call? I can call by function name. If I just call add nums, it will print this. It's saying that the function is in this memory location. So it is saying function at 0x, that means hexadecimal number. This is the hexadecimal number. The function is in this location. Function add nums at this location. It's just saying, telling me the hexadecimal digit. So I will teach you what these hexadecimal digits, binaries, hexadecimals, octals. So maybe we can, after learning function, we can focus on that if you don't know what these hexadecimals are, because that is also very important to learn and read the machine language. Knowing about the number systems and the data representation is very important. I will do that part later. Right, okay, add nums, anyway, display the location, but I cannot call the function this way. Instead of that, I have to put the brackets and give. So if I just use the brackets, it also gives errors because I have to give the correct number of parameters. Because here there are two parameters. Therefore, I have to give that two parameters. So if I give one parameter also, there will be error. But if I give both parameters, it will work and it will display output as this. Let's call the function again with some other number. You can see it's getting the total. So some other number, it's getting the total. Let's use some maybe decimal number. And here another decimal number. Still it's adding, right? So if I give a scientific number in, so still it is like, because I have not given any data type here, so therefore it support any data type. So if I try to add the numbers like this, let's say I have given 4.3 3 e plus 3, and then I'm trying to add 2.56 e plus 2, and it will add these scientific numbers and give me the total. And even so, I'll tell you, even the binaries it will add like this. I can try to add the binaries 0b. The binaries will have only 1 0, 0 B, the binaries will have only 1 and 0. So if I try to do that, it will convert to the decimal and add the number. If I try to add octal number to binary, octal can be given 0, simple O, capital O. So octals are in like digits less than 8. And you can see octals are also added. Hexadecimals are also added. Whatever the input, the hexadecimal can be given 0x. Hexadecimals can be given like this. That can also be added to binary or decimal number. Hexadecimals can also be added. So I'll tell what these number systems, right? Hexadecimal numbers, binary. That's why I said you need to know about the number systems too. The scientific number, of course, I think you know. Then decimal numbers, you know, binaries, and you can give the fractions, whatever. So that will also be added. Like you can give like 2 divided by 3, and here let's say 7 divided by 12, 2 fractions, and you can see that will also be added. Right, that will also be added. And so if I try to add non-number character, that means if I try to add hello to hi, still this will work, right? Because like this function, I have not filtered anything. So if I try to add hello, hi, so that will add them together and display hello and hi. If I try to add numbers inside the quotation, it will be treated as strings and will be added. All this will be done. You can test this now. So this is how I have defined the function. It will add numbers, full numbers, decimal numbers, fractional numbers, scientific numbers, other number system numbers, decimal numbers, binary numbers, so fractions, even strings. This will work. So try it now, please. I'm going to write the same thing without using any parameters, right? So let's define add nums. This is another one. Add nums, let's say I have to go another name, right? Add nums 2. And I'm not going to use any parameter, this time 0 parameters. And I'll use number 1. Actually, I'm going to take input, int input. Enter number 1. It's going to display a message to user saying enter number 1. Similarly, I'll type another one, and 2 is enter number 2. Okay, so let's run this. Now, actually, you have 2 functions in the same file. Add nums will simply add the numbers. Add nums, let's say 1, 2, will add that 2 numbers. And add nums 2 function will run without any parameters. That means you don't want to include any parameters there. So then it is asking enter number 1. You can enter the number, enter number 2, you can enter the second number, and it will give the answer. So add nums function 1 will get the parameters. The second function will not get the parameters. But if I try to type parameters, you can see it will give an error. Add nums 2 will not accept the parameters. Right? Add nums will accept 2 parameters. You have to give exactly 2 parameters, otherwise it will give an error. Add nums 2 will not accept any parameter. If you give any parameter, it will give an error. That is function with no parameter. So how can we make parameters optional? That is my next logic. We can make parameters optional too. Okay, we can tell add nums tree. Okay, I'm going to use another function, add nums tree. Now this time I'm going to assign some values to these parameters. Let's say n1 it's equal to 0 and n2 it's equal to 0. So here, in case if somebody has not given n1 and n2, it will take n1 and n2 as 0, right? So this is our third way. Actually, in this one, I'm not going to use any inputs. Without using inputs, I have given parameter values. So let's see the behavior of third function add nums tree. Add nums tree. So let's give with 0 parameters. still it will work. You can see 0 plus 0 is 0. So if I use one parameter, 23 plus 0 is 23. If I give two parameters, you can see it's adding the two parameters. Actually, this is like the random function. It can run without any parameter. It can run with one parameter. It can even run with two parameters. The reason is I have given the default values. So let me mention as comments. This is a function with two compulsory parameters. The second one, a function with no parameters. Third one, a function with two optional parameters. So that is the third one, function with two optional parameters. Okay, please try these things now. Then I would like to give a small question. I need you to find, okay, write a function, find the area of a circle and circumference. Area of the circle and circumference. So please write a function to find area of a circle and circumference by giving radius as an input. So only radius is given. You need to find the area. The second one, another question, write a function to find area of a rectangle and circumference by giving width and height as inputs. Try these two functions. I have given three functions and you have to write two functions. So just give a try. These are very simple questions. So you need to know the area. You need to know how to calculate the area, how to calculate the circumference. If you don't know, you can just search Google and like remember if you cannot remember. I think you already know, but in case if you cannot remember, please try how to find the circumference and area. Then you will get the equation. After that, you can write this. Just can input the number one, okay? 5r squared. That is to find the area, right? Circumference 2πr. So yes, you can try that as well. 2πr for circumference. The rectangle, yes, you can just multiply. That is to find the area. Both will give area as the result. The circumference one also you can.
Oh, it was circumference.
Circumference means like the what is the all around. So if you just go around, so what is the amount of, what is the length around? So you can just, okay, the circumference of this is basically, so if you get this value, let's say this is x and this is y and this is again x and this is y. So it is 2x plus 2y, right? Okay. So that is circumference there. And if it is a circle, what is the all around length? When you go around, so what is the length? That is actually 2πr, the equation. Okay. So let's try. Let me write that. And okay, def circle. Sorry, circle. And you can ask. So one thing is you can ask a question. X. Oh yeah, question is input So this is something interesting, like you can modify your code is correct, but I'm giving some alternative. To find area, enter 1. To find circumference, enter 2. You are giving some instructions to the user. So if you want to find the area, so then you can just evaluate this answer. If Q is equal to 1, you need to find the area. Area is basically, you can say print area is 5 22 divided by 7 into R. R you need to find anyway, you need to find the R, no? R is needed. You can say float. This can be a decimal value to float input. Enter radius. Okay. Float input, enter radius. Then 5 into R is basically that is the area. L if you can say Q is equal to 2. So you can say so let's use this inside the quotation and take that string, right? Q is equal to 2. I'm not converting that to integer. Q is equal to 2. Print circumference is 2 into 5 into R, 25R. 25R. That is it. So when you run with, let's say circle function, it's asking whether you want to find the area. Yes, I need to find the area. Enter radius, I put 7. The area is this. I'm running the circle function again. Now I need to find 2. That is circumference. It says enter radius, a circumference is this. So if you type some other answer, you can say invalid. Oh, print invalid selection. Try again. Invalid input. So that should also be there. Invalid input. So should be mentioned there. You are running this. Now, if something is given like this, if somebody give like this, so it says, oh, actually radius should be there. This should be given first, I guess. This should be given first. And based on that, you have to provide invalid input. Here you can take this and you can take this here also, right? Okay. Otherwise, no need to take the radius. Let's try this now. And I'm running the code. Okay. In this circle. Oh, sorry, mistake. Close it. And running it again. Using the circle function. CIR, CLE. Okay, I'm giving some invalid thing for, it says invalid input. Invalid input. If I press 1, it's asking, oh, circle. If I press 1, it's giving the asking radius and giving the calculation. Oh, invalid input. 2 and it's given the value. Okay. So likewise, you can do this with some modification. Actually, this part also you can check. So I'll tell how to check that with the, if user is typing some other invalid input for the radius, that can also be evaluated. But for the moment, going this level is enough. And please write the same similar code for this one. So you know you have to get 2 inputs this time. Similar code you can write for the square, 2 inputs. And so to find the area, enter 1, circumference enter 2, and then get the width and length, or breadth and width and breadth and length. So anything width and breadth, width and length, or length and height. So likewise, then you can just length and width and height, length and height, or whatever you just get. And then after that, you can just multiply and find the area. And to find the circumference, you have to add them twice, width and height plus width and height. Or you have to add width and height and multiply it by 2. Please modify your code accordingly. So let me give another input, another one. Okay, this is, I hope you can remember the turtle library. Use turtle library and write a function to draw symmetric shapes with given number of sides and given side length. Okay, let's try this question too. Right. The other part you can do, like, I think, okay, so the symmetric, I think the word is symmetric. Yeah. Okay, then, so what you need to do actually here? Let's take
import.
Okay, you can write a function here itself. It doesn't matter, you can write here itself, import turtle. Then t equal turtle dot turtle. That is to create the object, and after that the function. So, or you can just define the function here, other side also. But okay, let's create the function here. Def that will be try to import turtle a few times. Therefore, I'm defining function here. Def draw. My function name is drawing, and creating a turtle object, and after that it's start. I can use single turtle object as well, but this is also okay. Symmetric shape. So the basic, the smallest shape, that complete shape that you can draw is triangle. Triangle has 3 sides. So if you use for loop for k in a range 3, because you need 3 sides, you can just say t dot forward, let's say 100 pixels, and t dot left, you need to turn left side 120 degrees. Are you clear on this for triangle?
Yes.
So you are going forward to 100 pixels and turn in 120 degrees, right? I think you're okay. 120 degrees means, so if there is a line like this, so you just forward 100 pixels, let's say here to here 100 pixels, and then you're turning 120 degrees. This angle from here to here is 120 degrees because left side, no? Actually, then the internal angle will be 60 degrees. Because you are turning 120 degrees externally, internal angle will be 60 degrees. Understood? Because the total angle of this total is 180. In a line, the angle is 180. Because in full circle, it is 360. In half circle, it is 180. Do you know this theory related to mathematics?
Yes.
Okay. Then I think you are okay with these figures, right? 120 degrees. Then what you need to do, you need to make this an input. Draw, then you have to give the side length, let's say SL or side length. And then what? Angle. Actually, angle should be used here. The side length should be used here. Or you can just use number of sides or sides. So let's say sides. If you know the sides, easily you can mention side, number of sides here. Somebody mentioned 3 side, 3 should come here. Then what will be the angle? How can you calculate the angle? The full angle is 360. If you divide that by sides, Are you getting the correct angle? Side says
Yes.
you are getting the correct angle, right? That is all. This is what I was asking. So if it is 4 sides, what will happen? So this will repeat 4 times. You are going to draw a square. 4 side means square. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 side is square. Then sides 4. You are going to repeat 4 times. Side length 360 divided by 4. What is the value? 360 divided by 4. What is the value? 360 divided by 4. Yes, what is the value?
I think it's 90.
Divided by 4. 36, it is 9. So it is 90, right? So this angle is 90. Are you getting the correct value now?
Yes.
For square, the external angle and internal angle both are 90. Right? For triangle, 360 divided by 3, 120. For pentagon, 360 divided by 5. The external angle for pentagon will be 360 divided by 5, which is 72. You're getting the correct angle, right? So this is the code. See how simple that is? It's not hard. Only thing is you have to give a try. That's all. Don't be afraid, right? It's also easy like other things, but only thing is it's too easy, I guess. Okay, anyway, draw. You need to provide 2 things. Side length, let's say 100. Number of sides 4. You should get a square. 1, 2, 3, 4 square, right? Let's draw again. This time I need 5. This pentagon. You can see it's drawing a pentagon. So this time you need a 3 triangle. 1, 2, 3. It's a triangle. You can change the width also. Side length, let's change it to 200 and triangle. See, you're getting it, right? So let's draw 200 with 4 sides square. And you're getting it. Okay. And let's draw another shape. Let's say I need to draw 40, but sides, 12 sides. Okay, you can see 12 sides. 40 and 12 sides. 40 and 18 sides. Still possible, right? You can see the number of sides when you increase. It's 18. So for any value, this will work. That is our function. Now we can draw any shape. Let's say I need 30 sides. It's a big shape, a big circle, circle-like thing. But if you really need a circle, you have to go 1 pixel. And what is the angle? Should be the number of sides 360. You have to turn pixel by pixel 360. Now you can see it's drawn in a circle. But it's a very slow process because after each pixel it will turn 1 degree. After each pixel it will turn 1 degree. Likewise, it will turn 360 times, it will rotate, it will turn 1 degree. Pixel by pixel it will draw a circle. You can make this faster a little by just giving 2 and 180. That will like 2 times faster than the previous one. Right, 2 times faster because you cannot identify 2 degrees change, but will be crispier than the previous one. So likewise, you can include color as well, right? If you need, you can include the color as well. Let's put the CLR color, and here actually you have to use another one, that is T.color. You can use this CLR. Or by default, let's give the if it is not given, let's give the color as black. In case if somebody has not given the color will be black. If somebody has given the color will be here also. If somebody has not given the length, let's see 100. If somebody has not given the sides, let's see 3. Run it. Now it has 3 parameters. By default, draw function will work. That will draw a triangle because no parameters given. Doesn't matter, it will draw a triangle. Let's say you are given, you have given like 200. The other two will be taken, it's still a triangle. Let's say you are given 200 and number of sides 5, you will get a pentagon. And 205, and let's say you have given a color like red, you will give a red, you will get a red color pentagon. That's it. Now it's supporting colors, sides, default parameters. You can update the code line. Okay, just copy down this.
So we have to copy everything down from the shell.
I think you have copied the previous one, right? This one.
Yes.
You need to copy this part only, right?
Yeah, but do I have to copy everything
No,
from
no,
the shell?
you can try it later, right? Once you're done, you can try with the different
Okay.
values. Finish?
I have finished. Yes.
Okay. Right.